Well, on that, hey everybody, welcome.
Oh, that's a cold open.
Hey everybody, welcome.
Oh, that's a cold open. Jackass.
Well, that is now. I mean,
I'm so sorry. I thought there was gonna be more of a warning than that.
no, I asked you and you said yeah, and so I hit it.
I thought you meant to test the thing, not.
No, we're going for it.
Okay, we're going.
Yeah,
We're going, I guess.
we're going. I'm also letting people know we're going, so that way they can come watch us and come hang out. But I guess I'll let you start.
Oh,
While I do that.
hi. Welcome to Escape Reality Star Wars Talk. I'm Seth. This is Caleb. We're gonna talk to you about some Star Wars stuff this week.
Yes. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I have to fill the air for a little bit, hopefully. This is what happens when I misunderstand a conversation.
Yeah.
So-
So let's go ahead and talk about, because this week was Star Wars Day.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do? Anything special for Star Wars Day?
No, I went to work and did my job. But fucking goddamn.
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just having some problems over here. It'll be fine.
Okay. Well, yeah. Go ahead. You were saying about your Star Wars Day. You were talking your Star Wars Day.
I went
Besides
to
work.
work, and that was about it. And then I went home.
I gotcha. So nothing like
No.
nothing eventful. You're not quite celebrating the holiday.
No.
I gotcha.
It's one of those, although it says, it's like, yay, this is a holiday, it's one of those holidays where you're like, fuck, I still have to go to school anyway.
Go to school and go to work.
Yeah. So it's like one of those days.
Yeah.
Not bad, but...
I, on the other hand, went
You know what I should have done? Me and Andrew should have fucking finished watching the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, because didn't y'all leave off, like, at Return of the Jedi?
No, he watched that.
Okay.
I just went to bed early.
Okay.
So I guess we have 7, 8, and 9 left.
Yeah, 7, 8, and 9, which you've only seen 7. But now you know what happens in 8 and
Yes.
9, thanks to our Lego Star Wars adventure.
Yeah, I have to, I'm not...
You can't spoil it for him. You can't tell him.
Can't.
It's okay. Whenever you end up watching it for the show, maybe that'll be a good time to... That's going to be That's going to be a couple years based on the schedule. We're not going to hit sequel trilogy era for a bit.
We'll get there eventually.
But let's go ahead and talk. I mean, I on the other hand, kind of am the reverse.
Important day for you.
I've turned the entire month into a celebration of
Oh,
Star
boy.
Wars. So it's Star Wars month for me. There is no Star Wars Day. It's Star Wars month. Although Cinco de Mayo, that's when I get my tacos and stuff. So still celebrate Cinco de Mayo within my Star Wars month. That's when I get my good Mexican. I go to like an actual Mexican restaurant, get some good, not like Taco Bell or something. You get actual.
Go down to Los Rancheros.
Yeah, Los Rancheros, man.
They're
Ooh,
good.
They're good.
I know what they do.
They're refried beans. Ooh. And their rice. But yeah, so what I'm doing for Star Wars Month is I'm going through everything.
Everything.
Like, so the premise of this show is already that we go through everything canon.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm going through everything.
Oh, isn't a month enough time to do that?
I've done the math and it might be possible, but it's looking unlikely.
Oh, let's see.
If I was to like just sit down and only do that, then yes, absolutely I could do it. But since obviously I have a life, I'm currently only in the Old Republic era as of this airing. Did you do any? We got Scotty on the side.
I'm on the side. You probably can't hear me, but I'm on the side.
Did you do anything special for Star Wars Day?
No.
Yeah.
No. Star Wars Day was on a
was a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. I didn't even watch Moon Knight. So no, I did not do anything special for Star Wars Day.
Okay.
It was in my heart. I thought about it, and I did text, tweet about May the 4th. I tell you what I did. No, I did do something. Not like I ranked my favorite lightsaber duels, the top 5 lightsaber duels, and then I ranked the Star Wars properties in the order I like them, and started a fight with another podcast. It was a gentle fight. It was an easy fight, but I was like, it's just my opinion. I didn't say anyone has to like this, but I did post my top 5 lightsaber fights. So.
Unfortunately, fandom posting your opinions means they're facts.
Right. So let's play a game. Can you two guess my 5 favorite Star Wars lightsaber duels?
No.
I'm gonna
Like I'm out.
I'm gonna say that for sure.
No order. No order.
Yeah, no order. I'm gonna say that at least within the top 5 is probably the Obi-Wan duel in Revenge of the Sith.
No, did not make top 5.
Really?
Did not make top 5.
Okay, I just know it's really popular, but I guess knowing you, that should.
You know me, right?
First
one I run away from it. It's popular. Run away from it.
I'm gonna go with. I feel Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader in New Hope.
No.
No,
I know. Okay,
it's the origin
This is the
for
one-
all the duels, so I'm like, that's why
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
it should
respect
be in
I
there.
respect it.
this is the one I know
It's the
for.
first one we
Here's one I know for sure:
Right.
Return of the Jedi.
No.
Really?
God, you are all.
Let me get.
Well, I mean, Empire's got to be there.
Empire number 2.
Yeah. I guess Duel of Fates.
Duel of Fates number 1.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we got.
Yeah, Duel of Fates is the greatest lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
It's
It's also the most important
right
to the franchise,
Right, but
like in terms of like story, not in terms of like anything revolutionary it did for fighting, although it did for the Star Wars series. But in terms of actual story,
Right.
it's the most important fight.
Lucas made Duel of Fates to show what lightsaber fights should be.
Yeah,
And
we can thank Nick Gilliard for how awesome it looked.
right, and also Ray Park could choreograph.
Yeah.
So.
Nick Gilliard and Ray Park, they worked together to
Right.
choreograph it. Yeah,
And so you get something beautiful and magical that I don't think they, at least in live action, came close to.
Yeah.
It's close, but it's my problem with Revenge of the Sith and why people like it, and I understand why people like it, but Obi-Wan trained Anakin, so the file styles were a mirror,
Mhm.
and to me it's just dull. And so
yeah. Whereas to a lot of people, that's what draws
well,
it.
it draws it. And I get it. I understand, but the symmetry for me doesn't work. But, but personally, it doesn't work. I mean, it's easy top 10, but there's not not top 5. So you got 3 left. The hint is they're all animated. The other 3 are animated.
Rebel season 1 finale duel.
No.
Okay, I was about to say that one. It's important to that show, but it's not that great of a duel.
But my criteria is not how important it is. My criteria is what do I like.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, I mean that
Aesthetic and pleasing.
yeah, yeah, and it's not the prettiest duel either.
No.
I feel like it's
But you're warm.
yeah. I was thinking. I know Rebels. It's got to be Rebels content.
There's 2 of them are Rebels content. 1 is Clone Wars.
Hmm.
So that helps.
Ooh. So for Clone Wars, can I at least limit it to? Can I kind of hot or cold it to a season?
Absolutely.
Okay, because there's 7 seasons
Right.
and a movie.
Absolutely.
Obviously, none of the movie duels for Clone Wars is good.
No.
Uh,
I would say hot. When you say Clone Wars movie, you're hot.
would season 7 be Mustafar?
You moved too far as season 7. Yeah. So you're almost on fire, Anakin. You're almost on fire.
Is it the Ahsoka Maul duel?
Absolutely the Ahsoka Maul duel.
Okay.
Also Ray Park.
Yeah.
And just,
Yep.
It is beautiful to behold and something that it's great to see.
Absolutely, it's a great fight.
It's very good.
I think I kind of want to bounce off that I think going into Darth Maul duels, I think the duel between him and Vizsla is one of my favorites.
It is a good one. It ends really well.
Uh,
And also top 10 duel, but not top 5.
not top 5, yeah.
Top 5. 'Cause, impact for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like not being the strong Ahsoka fan until later.
Yeah.
And so seeing her do something in Clone Wars, so just magnificent.
Yeah.
And she's holds her own against Darth Maul, who's a superior fighter.
Yep.
I mean, holds her own. I mean, she lucks out because of the need of the story to lose that.
Well, and also like Maul's not trying. It's the same situation of Force Awakens where Maul's not trying to kill her.
Right.
He's trying to turn her.
Right.
He's like,
Right.
hey, I know about who the real bad guy is.
We could have go stop Anakin before shit goes down.
I know who the real bad guy is. It's Palpatine.
Right.
What? What do you mean that guy's evil? He's great.
Spoiler alert.
Public.
But yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think what really good lightsaber duels are in. Oh, obviously the Vader Ahsoka fight.
Vader Ahsoka.
Twilight.
It is magical in the fact that Anakin taught Ahsoka to fight larger opponents because she's so small. To turn out that he was actually training her to fight himself.
Yeah.
That is fun. I get chills when I talk about it. It's just
Yep. The way she does the jump move
the
and
jump move and the break in the face is just the and the confrontation between that and the I'm no Jedi. Oh, it's like I'm all in it. I'm all in it. Goosebumps.
ooh, see, he's lacking on the Rebels knowledge because we haven't gotten him there yet.
I've seen the fight. I have no context for how it came to be, aside
Yeah,
from general.
we're gonna get him there. We're gonna next season we're hitting prequel era and then we'll hit OT Rebels era. Yeah. Right.
So the other fight has one of those two characters in the last fight in it.
Okay. Well,
And I didn't put 3 Ahsoka fights on it.
you know, and I was about to say I can't even remember another Ahsoka like actual duel.
Oh, she fights the Seven
I get yeah,
and
Seven
it's
Sister.
not a bad fight either.
No, it's not. It's a great entrance.
Right, it's
'Cause that-
it's Filoni allowing her to be a superhero.
Yeah,
That's her superhero.
Cause that's her superhero entrance of hey, I'm alive and now I'm part of the story.
Right, and here I'm becoming a badass.
Yeah.
I'm still awesome.
So that would mean it'd be Vader. It's season 2.
Vader, Kanan, and Ezra.
Yeah, the season 2
The best
intro.
part of that fight is that it's so hopeless for Kanan and Ezra. Kanan is outmatched, knows it.
Yep.
Ezra doesn't because Ezra believes they can beat anything.
Yeah.
He's
He-
a Padawan.
Yeah.
But the lightsaber's going to his neck, but Vader's controlling with the Force, and he says, "Your master has told you you could be a Jedi. That's a lie." And I'm just like, holy. and then they escape, and then a Sabine shoots Vader. Vader reflects it, shoots her in the face.
But
Should have killed her, but
thankfully Mandalorian. Yeah.
Beskar.
Oh,
And-
thank God for fucking helmets.
Right.
Well, specifically Beskar
Right,
helmets.
and then Ezra's like, well, how do you beat this thing? And he's like, beat it. We barely survived.
What do you
We
mean?
should hide. We're out, right? The show's over. We're done. Vader's here.
What do you mean beat
Such a good
that
fight.
guy?
Such a good fight. I mean, they throw an ATST on top of him, and it's like, whatever. They've never seen that.
Yeah.
But
But
those are my 5.
yeah, it's a good 5. I honestly like I don't see why so many people would be so butthurt by it, but I guess because it doesn't have the hero battle of heroes.
Right. It doesn't have that. Yeah, it doesn't have battle. Like it doesn't have. A lot of people were miffed about the Last Jedi fight.
Well, so it's a good fight. I don't know if I'd call it a lightsaber duel.
I do. I mean, they kick the shit out of those guys with lightsabers. I would say it's top 10. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
And I would-
5 would be like
and
6 would easily be episode.
yeah,
3.
yeah.
6 would be episode 3. And then I really like Jedi's.
Yeah.
I like Jedi's fight. There's
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
there are some interesting possibilities in that.
Yeah.
I wanted. Dark Horse did a what if comic called Infinities.
Yeah. Yep. They've done the 3 Infinities where they show like it's the first one is Luke misses the Death Star hole. It doesn't go in.
Right.
And so it's like
Well, that's bad.
yeah, it's real bad because Yavin 4 gets blown up.
Yeah. The second one is Luke dies on Hoth.
Well, that's bad.
And then the third one is Leia becomes evil.
Well,
That's
No, or
worse.
does she become evil in the second one?
the third one is the since there's no Luke, the plan to rescue Han goes backwards.
Yes. And basically Leia
Yeah, Lego.
turns to the dark side.
Right. and then that, but it works out where she turns Vader. And that's when we get the Vader with white armor.
Yeah, the Vader with white armor. So he gets to live, but he truly redeems himself in that one.
So I would say, my point on that is that in Jedi, Luke doesn't want to fight his father.
Yeah, that's the whole
point. And there's a line where he's coming up the stairs, and he says, "I'm not going to fight you, father." And he's like, "Well, it's unwise to lower your defenses." And he goes to strike him, so Luke has to defend himself. I always wanted to do the what if he did, and Vader struck him down. The Emperor's
and that was it.
Right, and the Emperor's like, "Wait, that wasn't part of the plan. I'm supposed to replace this guy with you."
Yeah.
You're supposed to be.
Come on, didn't you watch Revenge of the Sith?
Right.
This is how I do this.
How that works.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned Return of the Jedi in that fight, because for my Star Wars Day, which I was also talking about how I'm basically celebrating the month, outside of me reading all this content and going through everything again, which I just finished the Sith War, so Exar Kun's War. God, Ulick and Kay, that is an emotional moment. A little bit of spoilers for a comic that's not as old as me by a year, but old. Ulick becomes a bad guy, joins the dark side because he wants to go undercover, right? Because he's like, I'm mad because they killed my master, so I'm going to get revenge by going undercover. And of course, as we've seen a lot of the times, going undercover as a Sith, it does not work out.
Right.
Usually, because, that's why there's no such thing as a gray Jedi. You use the dark side, it's going to start to slowly corrupt you. And so he's corrupted, and by the end of it, him and his brother Kay are fighting, because Kay's like, hey, I'm trying to save you, I'm trying to redeem you, come back to the light. And Ulick's like, just leave me alone. And they're fighting, and Ulick kills his brother. It's very emotional.
What part of "leave me alone" did he not fucking understand?
Well, it's because Kay he loved his brother. It's about the brotherly love, and how Kay was like, I love you so much that I am not going to let you continue down this path, even if it kills me, which it did.
I did say the last Jedi was going to be top 10. I think it would be like 11 or 12. Because I forgot about, I think my number 7 would be Force Awakens.
Ooh, Force
Awakens great. That Kylo's wounded. He's just killed Han. He's furied up from that. Yeah, the dark side.
Yeah.
Furied up, and
He's angry.
He's angry. He's trying to catch Rey. Finn shows up with the lightsaber. So it's the dramatic moment we all thought Finn was.
Yeah.
And then the lightsaber he's trying to get flies away from him into Rey's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like.
And the music that's playing during that moment.
So good. It's so good. So that's 7. No, that's 8.
Yeah.
8. So my number 9 is a comic, and so it's my only Legends one.
Yep.
There's a great Dark Horse comic. It's it's an anthology comic, so none of it's for all.
Oh, is it part of the Tales?
It's
the Tales of the. It's just Tales, yeah.
But there's one where Vader fights Maul.
Yes, and that's where a lot of people got really hyped about the idea of Maul still being alive, because they were like, we really want Maul and Vader to fight.
Right. Well, I never thought put the possibility in my head until Rebels, and I forgot about that comic. And
yeah.
So in Twilight of the Prince, where they're all three together, where Maul and Vader are together, I'm like, why can't they fight? I thought that Henry Gilroy.
They never fight each other in the Clone Wars, do they?
No.
Do they just miss each other by 10 minutes?
Well, it's very similar to the idea. It's very similar to one of those things that they were doing in the show, because they did 2 things on purpose. They never had Anakin run into Maul, and they never had him run into Grievous.
Well,
because of one line in Revenge of the Sith.
There's their first meeting. And they did that's why Asajj Ventress exists.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm glad she exists.
Yeah, well, Ventress is also just a great character.
She's great. My favorite line that makes that duel, because it's on Mustafar.
It's on Mustafar. It's supposed to be a clone of Maul, if I remember.
Right,
yeah. And it's the prophets of the dark side. They're like, we're testing you to see if you're worthy of.
Right, but the best part of that is Maul is whooping the shit out of Vader, and he's about to do the killing blow, and he says, "I killed your master's master," and then Vader gets the string, and goes, "Yeah, but my master killed you." Cuts him right.
Yeah.
Booyah! That's
Yeah.
how it's done.
I also think, and that's where I think also in the terms of the debate of who would win, I think Vader would win. Not only because he was trained by Obi-Wan, but also because in canon, anyways, he deliberately was learning that fight.
Right.
There's the comic Obi-Wan and Anakin, which I definitely suggest as a read. It's after Episode 1. It's like 5 years or so. It's early on, still in the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin. And Anakin is contemplating leaving the Jedi Order, and there's flashbacks to like even earlier when he first was joining in. You get a little bit of the Palpatine's grooming of Anakin, but you also see one of the things he does at the Jedi Academy, at the Jedi Temple, is he reprogrammed one of the the training droids to fight like Maul, just so he could learn
Absolutely.
how to defeat him. So even though he's dead, because he emotionally felt to Qui-Gon.
I mean, it's Obi-Wan's Jedi trial.
Yeah.
I mean, you kill a Sith, you get promoted.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
And then and of course Anakin's going to look up to that, and of course
Absolutely.
Anakin also being the tech that he is, it makes sense that he would reprogram the training droids to fight the way that he sees as a challenge.
Non-canon makes sense, like the proxy. Anakin.
Yeah,
Vader
proxy.
Vader makes proxy, so to train circular.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and proxy can fight like anybody that's in the database. Yeah.
The last fight is Twin Sons.
Ooh.
Obi-Wan
Yeah.
and Maul. The
Like-
final fight for Obi-Wan and Maul is beautiful.
Yeah, it's not a long fight,
No, it's
but it
not.
doesn't
No.
need to be.
But
It's
it's beautiful. It's absolutely Twin Sons is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I cried when I saw it. And Maul is dying in his adversary's arms.
yeah.
Like the man he wants to murder most of it, and he's dying, and he's
And not only that, yeah, and Maul realizes, hey, you know what? I messed up, and maybe this kid can save us.
I think he finds peace in those last moments.
Yep.
I think he finds peace.
And he's like, I understand your mission now, Obi-Wan, and I hope that it works.
Right. And it doesn't.
And so like going back to my thing, I guess. But yeah, that was very emotional reading that again, because I really like Uuk and Kay as characters, and then Uuk is punished by his love interest in that because she learns a technique to cut him off from the Force. So after he kills his brother, his penance is being removed from the Force, being blinded to it, as they say in the comic. And then, of course, later on, his penance is, and I haven't gotten to rereading it, but his penance is that he trains the daughter of the person that cut him off into the ways of the Jedi, and that's kind of his final redemption.
Well, I had a purpose of coming here, not just to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Just me. I sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I love you guys so much. And your listener, you guys are great. So I'm going to feed your lunch. I'm about to go get your lunch.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers. That's the thing in down here, Mobile. What sauces do you prefer?
None.
What kind of monster are you?
I guess ketchup maybe if that's a
What kind of
sauce.
monster
Come on.
are you?
One that doesn't like a lot of sauces.
Yeah, that's a monster. Wow.
Okay.
Dry.
Just-
I
I need 4 fried chicken.
I'm-
2 fried
I'm a ranch or the foo sauce. Either one works.
Well, he's not getting sauce. Would you like both?
Yeah, I'll take both.
I don't like coleslaw either. That's
I don't
weird.
like
I don't like coleslaw
Yeah.
either. I usually do the extra fries or extra toast.
Yeah, we wouldn't call sauce, but,
It's green. I don't like it. It's green. It's cold and it's wet.
it's weird.
I don't like it. It's icky.
It's,
Yeah.
Captain's not up. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, but yeah.
It can be good.
So I'm good with.
It's just not cold.
Right. It's
Yeah.
weird.
So I'm good with both.
Very inappropriate.
No, you're
No,
fine.
it's
This
all right.
worked out. It was a great
But we
conversation.
learned out that Seth is a monster.
Yeah.
I'm not a monster, okay?
Kinda you are.
Okay, a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, at least he's a reformed monster.
I'm a monster who's working on trying to be better.
Yeah.
Turns out pragmatic good as an alignment is very
No.
tricky to navigate.
Personally, I think you should just embrace your monster. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Whatever.
Nah,
gross.
yeah.
Own up to
You know what? Embrace that you don't care about droids' rights. No.
Right, exactly.
There's something.
Tie my shoes.
Obviously, I'm taking you out of context for the joke, but
Oh, there's something. Oh no.
All right, I'm gonna go. Let's marry
yeah, no, yeah.
There's certain
Thank you.
terms from Clone Wars I don't
No,
like
thank you
to
guys.
use.
Especially you, Caitlin. You really come in and call. That at least
but
like, are you busy? Well, you probably got a million things going on. I'm like, no, I can come over.
but The other thing I did for Star Wars Day, actually on Star Wars Day, is I watched Return of the Jedi with some people. Because a friend of mine was on a live stream where they were streaming it. And so I watched that. Won a Funko Pop because they were doing a giveaway. So that's going to be fun. And then I'm in a drawing for a lightsaber because of that as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And then I know tonight, kind of a shout out to them, my friend Sawyer. She's going to be streaming Empire tonight at, it would be 9 our time, I think, because it's 10 her time. So 9. So 9 Central. And it's going to be on Stream Lounge, which is a new service that's kind of like you can share your streams with people, and you have to have a Disney Plus account to watch it. So of course you still have to watch it legally, but you get to watch it with friends or with strangers.
Yeah.
And she's going to do a giveaway. She's going to have some prizes. So if you want to get some free stuff, it's going to be great.
You saw yesterday, I was having a fucking time of it. But, in regards to not Star Wars stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still mad about it. But, on the other hand, we got to watch a,
oh, yeah, that's where I was going to go next. I was going to talk about that because on Star Wars Day, they released on Disney Plus what they call what was it called now? A gallery. Yes. They call it gallery, and they did a gallery episode for Book of Boba Fett. So they had an hour-long little special of here's how they made Book of Boba Fett.
Yep.
And man, it was really interesting watching a lot of that, and especially when they go over the how the Luke process of how they did.
Yeah.
Like we were discussing this while watching it. I was like, they really didn't have to go this far.
That. Yeah.
Like the actor, so the way they did it is they did it very similar to how they did it in season 2, the finale for Mando season 2, where they had an extra guy, and then they had Mark Hamill, and then they would, do the deep fake.
Overlaid it.
Yeah, they did a bit of deep fake. And they in order to deep fake, they had a gallery of all these images of Mark Hamill's face from when he was younger, and then on top of that, they went a little bit extra on this one because they were like, well, last time for Mando season 2, we didn't quite have it look the way we wanted it to, so we brought in a deep fake expert, and then we also
we also reshot the thing multiple times at different angles.
Well, yeah, because you kind of, you already kind of have to, but even more so. Especially since they would have to shoot it with Mark Hamill that way, with multiple angles, and then they would have to shoot it with the guy that's his body double. Once again, multiple angles, and then they would also have to make sure that both Mark Hamill and the body double were moving pretty much exactly the same. Not even pretty much, no, exactly the same, because they had to make sure that they could layer it. And they had the cameras, set so that way the cameras were always in the position that it. So they had multiple cameras to make sure that that way they didn't have to move the cameras.
I think the conclusion is they didn't have to do all this, but it looks good. So
because also the body double looked already kind of like a young Mark Hamill. Yeah. There's certain facial features where there's certain
if you looked at it a little bit longer.
If you were examining it and you were going side by side, you would see differences. But if it's just at a glance, if you're just oh, this is supposed to be Luke, got it.
Yeah.
Because he looked like him.
He looks very similar.
Yeah, and so
I suppose that is the point of the double.
That is the point of the double. But they didn't have to mask him, is what I'm saying. The deep fake thing, it's just an extra layer.
Yeah.
But but at the same time, I appreciate the effort they went through because it worked really well.
They also talked about how getting Baby Yoda to go and do stuff.
Yeah, doing the flips and stuff.
Doing flips and such was how they did that. And I was like, this is cool.
And of course, talking about the Rancor as well.
Yeah,
and how they were so we decided that we're gonna build a third of the Rancor essentially.
Yeah. We'll build its
head and back.
Yeah.
But we won't build its arms or anything, and it'll have its shoulders, and we'll make sure it can move and everything. And it's oh.
I want to learn to ride it.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they did it, was so that way, Boba Fett would have something to actually be Tamura would actually be sitting on something, and it's
Yeah, it's amazing how they managed to pull that off.
yeah, and so like you got to really appreciate a lot of what went into it, and then of course like unfortunately they didn't talk about my boy Cobb Vanth.
Nah, God damn. He'll be fine.
I know, but I wanted to hear like some behind the scenes
they
of
shot
his
him.
appearances. No, but like
They didn't shoot him for real.
no, but I wanted to hear like behind the scenes stuff
Yeah.
of like that episode, and because that's also the first time Cad Bane live action.
Yeah.
Like they talked about
Well-
Cad Bane as well, but
It'll be the last time we'll see him in live action.
unless they do something in before Book of
Yeah.
Boba Fett. But yeah, so I mean, it was a nice special. I think it was a nice little treat for us. I mean, obviously Disney Plus shows, they do it all for almost every show.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to see them when we get them. So
Talked about not necessarily reusing the N1.
oh yeah, the Naboo where they
Yeah.
brought it back and rebuilt it and like they had the original artist Brian Sheng, who's like really good artist. He's the guy that's behind pretty much all of the artistic designs for the prequels. And they got to let him ride it once they built it again.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Man, I got to ride the first one back in when we made the Phantom Menace, and now I get to ride this one." Ugh. And it's just like, oh man, I feel that. So I can't think of anything else that's major for beyond what we got. So I guess we'll go ahead and talk about what we're reviewing this week. So this week we are talking about the High Republic Adventures, The Monster of Temple Peak.
Yeah.
It is a 4-issue miniseries done by IDW, part of the High Republic era, and we get to meet a new character, Ty Yorick,
Yorick.
or Tylera.
I thought it was
Is it-
Eric, but
It's
I
Yorick.
think that might be a different
Yeah,
person.
I think it's Tylera Yorick. I think
Yeah.
is her full name, but she goes by Ty Yorick.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start with this? I guess particular.
So, should we start at the beginning?
Well, that depends. Are we talking about the flashbacks beginning or the beginning of where we start in the story?
I think this one is actually best in media res.
Okay.
Because I think this one actually benefits from it.
Yes,
Unlike a
because
certain other show.
well, I think it's because it
But I'm sorry.
a show that we just got done talking about.
No.
Oh, unlike the thing that Ty York is very much
Very
similar to.
reminiscent of. Yeah. Fuck that Boba Fett guy. I don't like that. No, I actually very much enjoyed
you
that.
like that?
show.
You like that the flashbacks were the way they were?
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is one of the few times it actually works well.
Okay. But yeah. So okay. Let's start with the beginning of the comic then, which is we find ourselves on even
don't
before
know
that
the
we start on the planet that's the story's going to take place. Let me pull up some stuff so I can make sure I have names and stuff.
Yeah. I remember Ty Carrick drew in KLSO.
Yeah, KL. Yeah,
That's not their full name.
just KL. I'm shortening it.
No. Nope. We gotta call the droid by its full name.
God.
No, we don't have to do that.
Most
'cause I don't fucking
droids don't prefer that. Some are very particular about that
Yeah.
though. But most droids are like, nah, KL is fine. The planet is Lorith.
Lorith.
So we start on the planet Lorith, where these pioneers are kind of living, and they get attacked by this monster.
Yes.
That's where we start.
Okay, I see.
That's where
That's where the story
begins.
Not
because they get it. We get
because
them
there's
being attacked
a
by it.
different thing that goes on.
Yeah. And so basically that's going to be the premise of our story. Is
the little girl's name Lena?
It is Pela.
Pela. Okay.
So and the town is called Wicktown. I believe is the pronunciation, because obviously it's a read medium. It's not a listen to thing. So it's Wyke, so Wick would be my best guess.
Yeah.
So Wick Town, named after the founder of the town, Leighton Wick.
Mm.
And Pela is his niece.
Okay.
But yeah, Pela is... She runs away.
Yeah, she runs away. She
tries to warn her uncle that, hey, something's coming.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, we're good. And then the monster appears.
Don't worry about it.
Meanwhile, on
it's like you're gonna need to be tough since we're living out in the Outer Rim.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the planet of Balaram, Ty York is we meet her by her going after a Gundark.
Yes.
She is on a job to capture it alive.
Yes.
Which is easier said than done.
Especially. So she's going after it.
Yeah, and KL is like nagging her the whole time. Because KL's like, hey, you need it alive because we need the credits.
We need the credits because our ship is.
Having a ship
maintenance.
Ship maintenance is not cheap in Star Wars. It's made very clear that ships are very expensive to just keep.
Yep.
Like forget the flying, just keeping it.
Just being able to use the damn thing.
And so then, unfortunately, though, some kid gets in the way of Ty.
I don't know what Druin is. In the sense of, I don't know if they're a cat or a rabbit person.
Oh, okay.
They may be both.
I can pull it up.
However, his race can go invisible.
Yeah, the Segredo.
There.
The Segredo is the race.
Which is cool.
Nothing in particular that says what... They look almost bat fox-like in this picture, but...
Yeah, I guess.
Like the ears.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you supposed... You're another...
It's a mixture of things. And then he's got the antennas.
Yeah.
Like, he's got ears and antennas.
Yeah.
But I assume the biology of it is that the antennas is how their mind trick thing works. Because he's like, we don't actually go invisible. We just make you think we're invisible.
Yeah. I'm like...
Which is very, very, very force sensitive of him to do.
I'm over here like...
But yeah, he gets...
Why would you tell me this?
But yeah, he gets in the way because turns out he's a really big fan.
Yeah, he's like,
I like your work. I like the cut of your jib. I heard you're a monster hunter and you use a lightsaber. I kind of wanted to check that out.
And she's like, please go away.
Please go away. You're in the way. And then on top of that, then the Gundark tries to eat him.
And so she's like,
well, now I gotta kill the Gundark.
Fuck.
So she kills the Gundark, but she does bring it, and she's like, hey, get away. You messed up my hunt. Get out of here.
Go away.
Very reminiscent to the person that she's supposed to be similar to.
Fuck. It's like ordering a pie and finding it has no filling.
Yeah, it's basically this... okay, I think we can just say at this point.
Fucking quit being around the bush.
Ty York is the Witcher for Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much.
No extra powers beyond the Force, though. But I mean, the Force basically is just as useful as being a Witcher. She even has the white hair going.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
I don't know if that's supposed to be tendrils or her hair, but I see it as hair the way it's stylized a little bit. But it's the same race as Adigali, where it's kind of like these tendril-looking...
Maybe both.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. In terms of design, I actually really like it.
Yeah. And then I would say that Druin is very much like a dandelion Yaskir type of character, where it's like, I want to hang around you and be your best friend. And it's like, no, go away.
Fuck off.
Yeah. So Ty eventually is like, okay, I got to make contact with the person that hired us.
Tell them that I fucked this up.
But she is she's at least bringing the body back still.
Yeah. She's like, as proof, I did find it. Unfortunately, it is dead.
But on the way there, she notices some Jedi
She's
are
like,
actually
"Shit."
looking for the person who hired her.
They're like, oh man.
She's like, "Well, I've only got a little bit of time to get that money then," and so she goes to the hangar where she's meeting the docking
Yeah.
bay where she's meeting the guy. The guy, of course, reneges because he's like, I planned
said
to sell
alive.
Yeah, I said alive, and I was also planning to transport this because I had somebody who was going to buy it from me.
I can't pay you since you fucking failed the mission.
But
And
just
she's
as this argument's going on, though, that's when the Jedi
Jedi
and
show up.
officials, like police or whatever,
Yeah,
show
and
up.
they're like, you're under arrest for illegally transporting animals.
Dangerous animals.
Dangerous animals, too.
So like Gundarks.
Yeah, this is like the equivalent of being like, I was gonna sell this Bengal tiger because I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, it's Tiger King.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I should have.
yeah,
you
you
no-sold that.
you brought it up, buddy.
Well, that's not what I meant.
You're right, because more than likely in this universe they were probably selling the Gundark so the rich person could hunt it, not
Probably.
keep it as a pet or start a zoo. But no, so then Ty's like, "Well, I'm outie.
Goodbye.
It's not my problem. They're not after me." Also, she just doesn't want to deal with
stole
Jedi.
his bike,
Yeah,
too, because
yeah.
she could.
Yeah, she doesn't want to deal with Jedi.
Yeah.
So she knocks him down and is like, "All right," and basically helps the Jedi get him
Yeah.
because she knocks him down long enough that the Jedi are just like, "All right, easy grab."
I'm
And
like,
so-
oh, that went better than expected.
So of course she makes it back to her ship, and she's like, "All right, we got to get out of here fast." So they leave, and her droid, I just blanked. We said the name earlier.
KL3.
KL03. KL is like,
Chloe.
"Hey." Chloe. That's actually a good one.
Or Chloe now.
Chloe.
Since KL03.
Yeah,
Chloe.
All right, we'll go with that. So Chloe's like, "Hey, we still need money."
Yeah.
and so they're like, we've got two job options. We got one that's it's a well-known planet. I can't remember. But basically, they're like, we got this one place, and then we also got Lorith.
Yeah.
And
it's like,
and-
oh, do I want to go to the city where there will probably be a bunch of Jedi or not?
well,
Let me
it's not even-
consult my magic rock.
yeah, let me consult the stones because apparently Ty is a believer in the stones.
I don't know what those do. I
It's
assume
very. I mean, it's there. I mean,
It's-
obviously, there's real world equivalents of those type of like stone, like
yeah.
that type.
I
of thing.
assumed essentially what she was.
I think it was like basically communing with the Force and being like, "Hey, Force guide me."
Oh, I didn't think it was quite like that. I assumed this is a case of like it's not actually a thing. I'm just deciding which way to go.
No. This was very much a communing with the Force thing.
No, I think
though it's because she doesn't, and we'll get to why.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to have the responsibility of picking things.
yeah.
Because Chloe makes it clear that this
She's
isn't
like you use those
you keep
stones
using those.
every time.
Yeah,
Where you gonna make a choice?
yeah, and the answer is she doesn't want to. So eventually,
Operated under the assumption that she was just flipping the stones to whichever she wanted.
nope,
I guess that's not the case.
nah, that's not the case in this particular scenario.
But she's like, how about
Toydaria is the other option.
ah?
So where Watto's race is from. So
They don't go there.
They don't go there because it's moons to because you got moon and sun, and the moons it's Lorith, suns it's Toydaria, and she gets moons.
Yep.
Well, mostly moons. So moons. So to Lorith, and so she meets up with Leighton Wick, who explains the situation of, hey, we've been losing cattle. There's this creature, the Gretalex, that's been after our cattle and has been causing problems for us. We need you to get rid of it.
Could you go? Hey, Monster Hunter, could you go kill that monster up on the mountain?
Yeah, and she meets Tapel, who's one of the other town leaders, an archaeologist, and he's yeah. As she's agreeing to take the job, or as she's saying she'll think about it, rather, in comes our speedster, Pila, who is now mute.
They go
and they explain that there was a gas incident between when we last saw them that caused this to happen.
Yeah, like the Rhydonian fumes.
Yeah, which means Rhydonium is there, which is not where you want a kid near. Because Rhydonium is not a great chemical to be around. It's generally it's very volatile fuel for starships. Very explosive.
It's a lot of unnecessary.
We talked about it in High Republic before. It's that thing that they use to turn. It's how they turn the ship in Light of the Jedi.
It's love.
Because no, they were They were trying to prevent the Rhydonium from exploding. Because remember
Oh yeah, that thing that
it was about to go into the sun.
Yeah. You know, it's man, some of the fuel in Star Wars is maybe a little bit too combustible.
You know,
It's dangerous to be around in general.
So eventually she agrees. So after all this, she agrees, and she's like, "All right, well, I guess I'm gonna go to the mountain," and because they tell her that that's up this mountain called where Temple Peak is, that they call it. And so she's like,
"Why is it called Temple Peak? Because there's a temple at the peak."
Yeah,
it's
Mount Beecha is the actual name, but they've called it Temple Peak. Oh, sorry. No, it's just sorry. I'm thinking of the other mountain. Sorry, this one's Temple Peak. There's another mountain in this story, which we're about to start talking about. So throughout the story, we're getting these flashbacks to Ty's time as a Jedi, because one of the things that is made clear,
an apprentice at that time.
Yes, one of the things that's made clear is that Ty is not a Jedi anymore. It's something that Ty repeats over and over whenever somebody tries to.
Yep. Aren't you a Jedi? No.
So, we learn her full name is Tylera.
Yep.
And her classmate Cleus Terradin, her best friend.
Yeah.
They are dueling, and we learn a little bit about them, and we learn that Cleus is a little bit of a rule breaker. Tylera's kind of just puts up with it. Ty's like, we shouldn't be breaking the rules, but like, I'm not going to stop you because you're my friend.
Yeah, I get the sense that I don't remember where they're training during that time, but I get the sense that it's very much like, you are the only other student at this school, ergo you are the only friend I have here.
Yeah. And so like, it's the Jedi Temple on Naratar.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's a new as far as I know, it's a new planet. But yeah, so he likes to look into some of the objects that the Jedi would frown upon a lot.
I'm over here, I'm like, man, I understand where you're coming from.
You're a kid, you're curious.
I also understand the logic of, look, we have to learn about these things so we'll know.
But that's also not what he's doing.
Yeah.
But so, and we actually get a little bit of a reference to Jedi Fallen Order, because one of the groups that he learns about is the Zepho, which is a very important alien race in Jedi Fallen Order.
Haven't played it, watched a playthrough.
Okay, so you know about the Zepho.
I know about the Zepho.
Yeah,
and
one of the earliest
propensity for goddamn puzzles.
Yeah, one of the earliest of Force users. We don't know if they're the first or not, but we know they're one of the earliest.
Yeah.
So Cleus is like, yeah, I've already studied them, and my master was cool with that. So we're gonna also check out this Yallo Sanctum, which is for the Yallo Fellowship, which is even more evil and dark side than the Zepho, which Zepho are kind of in the middle.
I was like, okay, look, I get it, man, don't touch anything.
Well, unfortunately, that's exactly what he does. Despite Tyler trying to be like, "Hey, we shouldn't be here, and we definitely shouldn't be touching anything."
Yep.
Cleus is like, "Nah, I see a holocron.
I'ma touch it.
And I'm gonna see if I can open it."
He's like, yeah, it's real weird how the gene seal is. We never find out
What the gene seal does.
Yeah.
He gets possessed immediately.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, that was quick.
And now we're gonna come back to the present because we told a lot more of what happens in that than what.
Sort of speed ran.
Yeah, we sped, and that's fine.
I'm sorry, I'm not bringing.
This is a shorter comic, so there's like. It's a good comic, but there's not as much to.
Short.
Yeah, it's a little bit short because it's a mini series. It's a limited series, I should say, because this is the only issues we'll get, and especially now that IDW doesn't have the publishing rights, which is why I don't have a trade paperback this time around. Because they did not print a trade paperback yet.
Yeah.
Before losing the license rather.
Whoops.
Oh well.
That's how business be sometimes.
Yep. And so Ty's going up the mountain back in present. And somebody is invisible hanging around in the mountain.
Yeah. Doesn't she almost stab him?
Yeah, and then they get caught in this giant spider creature's web.
They're called rock weavers.
Rock weavers, yes. And she's like, "Well, you better reveal yourself to me or I'm not going to be able to help you."
Yeah.
And so like and she gets a little bit of web in the face, which thankfully Chloe's like, "Hey, well, you can just use your little sonic. You can use your sonic thing, set it to the right setting, and just make sure you don't blow your ears out. Essentially, in the process,
make very sure that set at 3 and no lower or higher.
Otherwise, it either won't work or it will work too much."
Yep.
And she kind of just ignores that. She's just like.
And she's like, "Did it work?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can't really hear anything."
But yeah, it worked.
But yeah.
And then she unties the invisible creature, who continues running, and she's like,
"Not today.
Not today, Bolo." Bolo, yeah. Bolo's the invisible creature to reveal it's our buddy.
Quit following me, damn it.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
What that next conversation amounts to.
Yeah, it's
quit following me. But can you train me to be a Jedi? No.
Yeah. Yeah, because Druin is like, "I know you're a Jedi," and Ty's like, "I'm not a Jedi anymore. Stop saying that." And Druin's like, "But I want to become a Jedi. And I want to learn the Force."
Like, you don't even know what any of those words mean, do you?
It's like there's a lot of she's just like, "There's a lot of responsibility behind those words. You don't want that."
Oh man.
She doesn't say that, but that's basically the tone she's giving.
The implication is like, no, you don't want it. It's that case of like,
you've heard the heroic tales, but you don't know about the BS that we also deal with.
Have you ever, tell me, Druid, have you ever been to this place called Corellia?
That hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know where in the timeline we are.
We are before the events of the second book.
Okay. All right.
In fact, I think they mentioned that this is a little bit in the opening crawl of the first issue, that it's before the Republic Fair.
Oh, that's right. Druin explains great hyperspace disaster.
Yes, and he talked, because
he's
so
like, my brother died.
So like basically they have a discussion where they're like, "Okay, look, you need to go home."
And he's like, "Well, I can't go home."
And also, not only that, it also like Chloe's like, "It's a bit of a far travel to send them back down, especially when it's about to get dark."
Yeah.
And Ty's like, "Fuck."
Fine. Fuck. I guess they'll stay here.
Yeah, I guess they'll stay with me until morning.
Yeah.
So during the night, they kind of talk about, well, Druin talks about himself.
Yeah. I very much just want... Ty's doing the equivalent of like rolling over and trying to go to bed.
Yeah, and so we learn a bit about Druin and how like he is, as far as we know, potentially the last of his race.
Yeah.
At the moment, anyways.
It's the only one we've seen so far.
And so Because of the great hyperspace.
Yeah.
Because of the hyperspace disaster.
The emergences.
The emergences. One of the emergences hit his home world.
It's gone now.
Yeah. So his brother was because they were already in the middle of a civil war. Based on
Things were already bad.
Yeah, things were already bad because there was already like a civil war between their race on their planet, and like it was already just him and his brother, and then the emergence happened, and then it's just him. In terms of his family, anyways.
Yeah.
Obviously, there might be more of his race, but in terms of like immediate family, that's it.
Yeah. Pretty.
So that's part of his like reasoning for like journeying out and being like, you know what, I'm going to discover this thing about the Force because, you know, my brother and I, we heard stories about it and...
We would like to know more.
Yeah. So in the morning, they get attacked by these creatures.
Oh, also their little pack mule.
Oh,
scared
before
off during the night.
Yeah, that's right. So that's what it was. So during the night, their pack mule gets scared because
It's not actually called a pack mule.
Yeah,
but
their mount, I guess we'll say.
Yeah.
Their mount gets scared during the night because somebody just comes really, really fast up the mountain and runs past them and starts calling. It's Pila.
It's Pila.
It's Pila. And Pila starts like attacking Ty essentially.
Yeah, she's like, "I'll fucking kill you,"
but without saying
not.
that because she can't talk.
She's like, she can't talk, and this is one of those times where, they explain like, no, she can't talk, so it's not one of those just fucking talk moments.
Yeah.
That happens so often.
Which Ty is trying to figure out, hey, what's going
like,
on?
why are you trying to kick my ass so hard for like no reason?
And so, like, unfortunately, though, after their mount runs off scared, they also drop Pela off the mountain by accident.
Whoops. That's not.
Which Ty tries to catch her with the Force, but
Nah.
flies off the mountain.
Ty may be having some internal difficulties.
Ty's having a rough time.
She's having a bad week.
Yeah.
And she does not feel great about the fact that a
So-
small child
potentially
has just
maybe died.
maybe not died.
Has just died. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as Ty knows, yeah, kid's
Yeah.
dead. And so, of course, Druin's like, hey, it wasn't your fault. You couldn't, like, there wasn't much you could do about what happened. Trying to be comforting, and he's right. There wasn't a lot. But, didn't go well. Ty kind of just gets more frustrated.
Yeah.
So, Angry sleeps, and then they wake up in the morning, and Druin's already, like, packed and starting to leave. And Ty's like, wait a minute, no, we don't have a mount now, so like there's no way for you to get down the mountain quick enough in a way that would be safe.
Yeah,
so
she's like,
now you're just with me.
I guess you're stuck with me now.
Also, I need somebody to carry my stuff.
Yeah. It's hard to fight monsters and carry your stuff.
Yeah. So they get inside, and that's when they get into a fight with some creatures. I forget what these are. It wasn't more of the.
No, they find.
Was it more rock weavers?
No.
Because they haven't found the Gretelex yet.
They have found. Actually, yeah, no, they do find it like almost immediate.
But they fight something else before that.
I don't think they do.
Oh no! So they do find the Gretelex, but the rock weavers are with it.
The rock weavers are with it,
and so they fight both the rock weavers and the Gretelex, which Druin tries to use Ty's lightsaber to save Ty. Which
nobody touches Ty's lightsaber.
Ty's like, nobody touches my lightsaber, even if they're trying to help me. And so also they find Pela still alive.
Yeah, she's alive.
It turns out she's been captured by the rock weavers.
Yep. They fight that Gretelex pretty hard.
Yeah, and so they fight it, and then eventually they start to realize that the rock weavers are working with the Gretelex.
Which is weird.
Yeah, And it's also the Rock Weavers are also not trying to kill them, and neither is the Gretelix really.
Yeah, it's more like it's just trying to get them to go away.
Yeah, and on top of that, you also have they realize that, oh yeah, we could just save Pela and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So eventually they do all that and
they kind of start looking around.
They start looking around to see what's up, and they find some clues as to why all of this is going down.
And Tayoric, first time without too much struggle, using the Force. For a power she admits she's not very good at.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to cast animal friendship, basically.
Yeah, which is how she calms the Gretelix down and figures out
why it's been so pissed.
Yeah, she figures out what's going on. So let's go back to the flashbacks now and finish up that story. And then we'll finish up the current day. So, yeah.
So Cleos touched an ancient artifact. He did the dumbass thing in a horror movie.
And now he's got he's
got a case of the evil spirit.
Yeah, he's possessed. And so tries to kill Ty, who is like very defensively like, no, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight you. And also like, we should have left, and Cleos is...
You should have stopped me.
Yeah, whatever's possessing Cleos is very much using Ty's feelings against her.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is your fault. You should have actually stopped me. And Ty's like, I tried. And it's like,
you should have tried harder.
Yeah. Which, Ty, it's not your fault. It's not. Cleos was going to be a dumbass no matter what you did.
This is one of those things where it was in their nature. This would probably have happened anyway.
Yeah. This is one of those situations of you can't stop people from doing stuff they're going to do.
Well,
and so, I guess you can. I guess you can stop people from doing stuff they're going to do if you kill them.
Yeah.
Which is, once again, so Ty kills Cleos, but it's not her fault.
It's not her fault.
It very
much seems like Cleos just kind of walked into
her lightsaber, yeah,
as a choice.
And also on top, and also on top of that, it's very much a thing of Ty more defensively and like not even thinking about it, put her lightsaber out in that way, and then of course Cleos is like, "Thank you,
thanks,
I'm dead now.
I die now.
Thanks for getting rid of the spirit that was inside me by killing me. Bye."
And so I don't think. So I'm gonna say something weird.
Yeah.
I think the reason why Ty has been so adamant about avoiding Jedi is that she hasn't explained what happened.
I think that there's that, and I also think that she hasn't come to terms of what did happen.
Yeah.
Because it's a complicated situation, and I think Ty believes that if she tells somebody what happens, she's gonna be blamed and that she's gonna be perceived as a bad guy. But in reality, when you look at the situation, no. You did everything you could have, and yeah, you killed your friend, but that wasn't on you. It really wasn't.
No.
It's a what if Obi-Wan killed Anakin, like had killed Anakin at Mustafar. Is Obi-Wan a bad guy for that? No. You know?
Might have been a mercy if he had.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think there's a lot of that. I think she hasn't come to terms with what she did. She hasn't come to terms with the fact that she's not guilty for it. Although I think she's starting to come to terms with that. And she just doesn't, and she hasn't come to terms with the fact that she is going to always be connected to the Force, even if she doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are ways to cut yourself off, but they're pretty drastic measures to do that. You gotta really, you gotta be really sure about that choice before you make it. So, back in the present day.
Back in the present.
Ty decides to confront Mr. Wick.
Yep.
And his posse. As it turns out, the Gretelix is not a Gretelix. It is two creatures.
Yes.
A Greta and a Lex. That combine.
Yes. Very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, symbiotic pairing, yeah. And so, turns out they have the lax.
Yeah. And the Greta is very upset about the fact that they essentially stole its girlfriend.
Not even that. They stole basically a part of it. Like, they stole a part of its body
Yeah,
and a
no,
part of its
that's
soul.
more. That's
Like,
more along the lines
Yeah.
of it.
And it's just like,
Can I have that back?
like, apparently it, like, actually, like, is painful to not be without the other half. And so, like...
Ty's like...
And also, we figure out why, Pela's mute.
Yeah.
It turns out that, yes, Rhydonium gas mine did go off, but it wasn't because of anything stupid Pela was doing. It's because Pela was trying to stop her stupid uncle from shooting the Greta.
Yeah.
And instead, one of Wick's shots hit the gas mines, and that caused her mute. Huh. So, and so we learn that, that's what's going on. And so, obviously, Ty confronts them.
Yeah.
Turns out it's a trap,
It's a trap.
because it turns out Wick was expecting that, and as was the other guy,
The...
who acts like he's on Ty's side. He's like, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. I told you this was a bad idea. And then, as soon as, like, Ty's back is turned and thinks she's winning, they're like, nah, sucker. Knocks her out.
Yeah. This initiates the fucking funniest thing that I ever saw. I remember flipping the page after that and seeing the little bone crusher. I was like, what is this James Bond shit?
Yeah.
Why did you waste this much? Why did you tire? Why did you do that?
So they attach it to a bone crusher. Also, we learned the reason why they're after the Greta Lex.
Yeah.
It's apparently because they're like, we're basically part of a cult that's trying to get normal people to be able to use the Force.
Yeah.
And apparently the Greta Lex is rumored to be like something like that you can use, like, eat or something. I can't remember the specifics of what they said.
They're like, we needed it to make a potion to help us survive.
Yeah. And
wow.
But they managed to...
This seems like a great plan.
But during the fight, I think she frees the Lax, and so I think the Greta Lex is free at this point. And so they're like...
Also, like...
They're like, well, I guess a Jedi's bones will do.
Yeah, and I'm like... thank God you guys are fucking comic book villains and very stupid.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been easier to crush their bones if she was, not alive?
Well, that's why they're putting her in the bone crusher.
Is her being alive a necessary step?
I don't know. They're probably doing that part for the enjoyment of it.
Maybe. Which is a bad idea.
Yeah, because she escapes. With the help of Druin, who shows up,
He brought the Greta.
brought the
Rock
Greta,
Weavers are there.
yeah, and Pela,
And Pela.
and so
To be honest, it's not a good time for
yeah,
I'm just gonna call them poachers because that's what they are.
they're poachers. So the poacher group, they have Ty's lightsaber, and of course we get a callback to the nobody touches Ty's lightsaber thing because Druin takes it from their hand and tosses it to Ty and says, "Nobody takes Ty's lightsaber, ain't that right, boss?"
Fuck off.
Yeah, and it's like you're going too far there.
It's thank God we meet one instance of wildlife in Star Wars that's both. I like the Greta-Lax.
Yeah, and so the Greylax, one of its powers is that it's actually a healer. It can heal. It can force heal as well, which is why it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of stuff going on there. But I think it actually heals some of the people that in our party that are injured at this point. But yeah, at this point, the poachers are outnumbered.
Yeah.
And so they get their butts whooped big time. Pretty much all of them die except for Wick.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, we're going to just arrest Wick.
Yeah. Also, by the way, we recorded your fucking evil speech.
Yeah, and we sent it to the rest of your village who didn't know about this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Because the poachers were still a small group of the village. It wasn't the whole village.
Yeah.
And so we sent it to the group that didn't know about this. Good luck.
Yep. Have a nice day. And I think they just leave him to the Greta-Lax's judgment.
Well, no. He's
Well,
actually
no,
taking
actually,
it. They were threatening with the Gretelex's judgment, and that's how they got the confession.
So sorry, I didn't think this would happen.
Yeah, and so he's taken in by the village to be however they would decide to prosecute him. And so then of course Druin's like, all right, so am I going to continue adventuring with you?
No.
in fact, on top of that, Pela, who can now talk again thanks to being healed by the Gretelex, is like, hey, you should just come live with us.
And he's like, well,
are
you sure? Ty and Chloe take off.
Yeah, Ty and Chloe are already taking off. And Pela's like,
she's like,
you
well,
don't have a
choice.
But then the twist. So Ty and Chloe talk about it, and they're like, once again, we still need credits.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I know, we'll figure it out. Ty goes to meditate. Oh, she gave up her stones.
Yeah.
Key thing to remember. She gave them to
Pela.
Because she's like, I don't need them anymore. Because she's deciding to make her own choices now. And she's growing as a character.
Yeah. She does not go to meditate. She goes to practice.
Oh, practice her fighting.
She needs some practice.
Yeah. So she goes to practice her fighting. While she's off practicing her fighting, Chloe makes a call to Druin and is like, hey, I want you around.
Yeah.
Because you're a good influence on Ty.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you where we're going next, and if you just happen to get there.
She's like, they're like, we'll plan to have you accidentally run into her in the future.
If you just happen to run into her, who knows?
And this is one of those, like, because of the real world, the ending line is also great. Ty York will return.
Yeah. This is
maybe they will.
Well, so you'll definitely see Ty in chronological order. You'll see Ty again soon. Not next week soon, but soon.
Okay.
Within the next month of content that we're going through. But that's because this was actually her second appearance.
Oh, okay.
In terms of stuff that was released. So I'm just gonna say she appears in the second book.
Okay.
So she appears in man, I just dropped the name of it. I had a brain fart. Rising Storm.
All right.
So she appears in Rising Storm. That was her first appearance, really, actually, for like us. And then they were like, oh yeah, and here's her backstory. So, and then she's also in Race to Crash Point Tower.
Okay.
Which is the junior, which is
the stuff I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. So the junior novel of, and that also came out before this, but I think the plan is that we're going to see even more of her, like, down the line. I think phase 2 we're going to get more.
Ty York is interesting. They're a Jedi that doesn't want to Jedi.
Yes, and yet they very much still hold a lot of the like the ideals. Like Ty is definitely like she'll work for a criminal, but at the end of the day, if they're really doing something bad, Ty will stand up to them and be like, "No, I don't care about the money at this point.
Fuck you.
Fuck you." Yeah. So I really like Ty. Ty is a great character, and I'm really excited to see more.
This is another one that I'm like, it would be interesting. I want to see where this one goes.
And it is Tendrils. I just looked up the Lothians is the race. It's the same race as Adigalia, Sass-Ali, and Indira Stokes.
Okay.
Which we know. I'm trying to remember if you've met Indira yet. Yeah, you do. Yeah, Indira. Poor Indira. The second master to Bell.
Oh, no.
But Indira at least lived. But still. Indira lived.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Indira lived. She managed to survive that.
She's the one that ends up, like, hospitalized but not dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And Bell's like, oh my god, if it happens again.
Bell's like, where the fuck are my friends and family?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Fuck you.
So yeah, we've read 2 books with Indira because she's also in Light of the Jedi. Because she's at the same Jedi base that Bell is at. Anyways, but yeah, so it is tendrils. So,
All right.
but it's very hair-like and yeah. In terms of like the style, like they're obviously like how they stylize it. But I like Ty. I really want more.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for more. I'm really excited for you to read more about her, about the stuff we already have. Because, oh man, the relationship with Ty and some of our other characters that we already know. Because obviously she runs into some of our fan favorites for the High Republic era. Because she's going to be in a main novel, so. All right. Closing thoughts on that?
I enjoyed it.
I would definitely give it.
I know that's not like.
Yeah, I mean, I would give it. Honestly, I'm only giving it a lower rating because I want more, not because it's bad. And I kind of wished it wasn't just a mini series.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 7.5.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
I feel like there's definitely a lot more to the story that they could have fleshed out.
While the story is good, it does.
There's definitely some fleshing out it could have done.
Yeah, and there's some loose ends.
I mean, it's Kevin Scott. I trust his work. Kevin Scott has not led us wrong in terms of his writing so far. I mean, he gave us the rest of the High Republic Adventures line. So I mean,
I'll see.
He's given us some really good characters, and I really like what he's doing with them. So, and he's also the one who writes The Rising Storm. So we're gonna get to see a novel from him. Because I don't think we've done a full-blown novel with him. I think we've done I think he's done some of the other stuff that we've read, though. Let me
I wonder what Farzal is up to at this time.
Yeah. So this isn't too far away from this. So this takes place a little bit while some of the High Republic Adventures comics is going on. Yeah, so the only other High Republic thing that he gives us besides the High Republic Adventures is and he wrote some of the High Republic. Actually, he is writing the mainline comic as well, which is also really good. And then he gives us Rising Storm, and that's it so far of what we've gotten that's High Republic related that we've read that Kevin Scott's done.
I've enjoyed his work so far.
Yeah, and the High Republic mainline comic makes sense. I forgot that it makes sense that he's one of the lead writers on it because there's a connection for that to one of the audio dramas that he writes that we'll get to next season when we start hitting prequel era. All right, so that's Monster of Temple Peak.
Yeah. Next
week, we are going to continue our adventures in the well, we're not continuing adventures in the High Republic, but we're continuing our journey in the High Republic era with a continuation of short stories. We're back on Starlight. This time for Starlight Hidden Danger. So we're going to go back to following, what's her name? The Starlight. Begins with a J.
What could go wrong this time?
Trying to remember the name of her. What's this one called? This one is called Starlight. What did I say? Hidden Danger. So that is with. This one's written by Justina Ireland, and it's got Velko Jaheen. I was thinking of her last name. Velko Jaheen and Gal Tarfin. Traitor. Fuck you, Gal. You made us trust you. You made us think you were best friends with Velko. But yeah, so we get more Velko Jaheen and Gal Tarfin.
I'm not, like, I understand them since you read these a lot, I'm more of a retrospective, I suppose.
In this
Whereas
case, yeah.
you like actually felt this betrayal. With me, it's like all right.
Oh, so I guess now we're gonna do closing. But
So attachment is limited.
yeah. So I guess we're gonna do some closing, and I did want to confirm that thing I texted you about. Is that who I think it is?
I don't know.
Hold on, let me log in and I can show you. You don't have to ask them. I'm just gonna show you, because the name seemed familiar, and I was like, "Why? Where do I know that name?" And then I was like, "Oh, because we got a patron. We got a new patron. Well,
We got two now.
one. It's back to one.
One.
Yes. One of our other patrons dropped, unfortunately,
Well,
but that's fine.
Yeah.
He's a friend, so he's in the Discord channel anyways. Which was part of why he did it, I guess.
yeah.
But we got a new patron. We now get $9 a month because they're paying for, I guess, the $10 tier. Yeah, they're on the Toki tier.
Oh no.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it okay if I say?
Yes, you might as well. It's not gonna hurt.
Okay, I didn't know if.
Nah.
Okay, so his mom.
Yeah. Surprise.
Thank you,
Thanks, Mom.
thank you, Miss Brantley. I don't know what. I don't think we've ever met officially.
No, you guys might have met once in Crossing, maybe.
Yeah, but I thank you a lot for the support, and I know that Seth appreciates it too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I was going through my emails, and I was like clearing out emails, and then I saw that we got a new patron, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I saw the name, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Seth's last name.
Yeah.
And then I was like, where do I know the first name though? Because I feel like I've heard that name.
You've probably heard like.
I've heard either you or Drew say, or somebody say their name.
You've probably heard Ethan say it with
Yeah.
the miss suffix.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's where I connected the dots.
Yeah.
So thank you, Miss Brantley. We appreciate the support. I don't think you have a Discord, but if you do, you can be in the Discord channel.
She does.
Really?
Yeah. I know. I had to invite her to mine a while back. And I was for some like schoolwork stuff she asked me to do, and also just because we could, and I was like, in case like.
Well, I guess I'll message her later
Yeah.
and make sure she knows that, hey, you have access to the Discord.
Yeah, we should probably let her know about that.
Yeah, I was going to, but I wanted to make sure.
Confirm it.
I wanted to confirm everything first.
Yeah.
I was already gonna message a thank you, whether or not whoever they were.
Yeah.
But yes. So I guess this is a great way to
Yeah.
promote the Patreon. So she got the Toki tier, which is our $10 tier. That gives you a lot of access to a lot of things, actually. It gives you access to a lot of the behind the scenes. Let me pull up the actual page so I can kind of go over everything that's in that tier. And of course, there's things that are coming up that I'm going to announce a little bit. Like I think I talked about that we're working towards the comic book.
Yep.
I got an update on that.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about what the $10 a month Toki tier gets you. So it gets you access to our Discord, because the $1 tier gets you access to our Discord, as well as any digital downloads so you can anything that we happen to.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Tai tier, which is at $5, that gives you access to what is it there? Oh, that gives you a week of content before it's uploaded to YouTube. Unfortunately, that's not as good of a tier at the moment, but I'm actually part of my update for the comic is going to deal with that issue. The $10 tier gets you all of that as well. So, each tier you get the previous rewards. The Toki tier gets you also PDF copies of scripts for projects that we're working on a month before we start during that month. So anything that we're working on for that month will let you look at the PDF copies of the scripts a little early even before we're filming, you'll be able to look at that stuff and be like, oh, that's what they're working on. And then, of course, there's higher tiers. There's access. You can hang out with us in behind-the-scenes talks. You can get access to doing one-shots with us, because Star Wars one-shots that we can do. You can get access to free copies of my novels. You'll get all 3. It says just Super Worlds on there, but you'll get all 3.
Super Worlds, Code Wars, and Time Ninja.
Yeah, Super Worlds, Code Wars, and Time Ninja. And you'll get all 3 of those, and each month that you're subscribed, you'll keep getting copies of it. So if you only want one copy, you can go down a tier if you really want. Or if you just want to get copies for your friends, that's a great way to get copies for your friends. Just keep subscribing for that tier. I mean, some people will be like, "Oh, I like this book. I want my friend to have a copy." That's a great way to do that, and that way you keep your copy, you get your friend a copy, and you're getting it on a cheaper end than you would normally. So, an update on my comic.
Yes.
We have an artist. Super Worlds comic has an artist now. I've given him his first of many payments. And so I was thinking of how I wanted to present this comic. So obviously, at the end of the day, I want it to be in graphic novel form eventually, right? So you get your trade paperback, like the stuff that we like to collect here.
Yeah.
So eventually you would have your trade paperback that would have a bunch of the issues, maybe even the whole series, depending how long we decide for the comic to go, because it's going to be more than just the main novel. Right now, the comic the first few issues are going to be readaptations of the Coat Wars short stories, so you're going to get to see those visually, and then around Volume 2 we'll start adapting the actual Super Worlds novel, and then depending on if I've gotten Super Worlds, the sequel novel that I'm working on for Super Worlds done. I don't want to reveal the title yet. I do have a title, and I've been working on it. And that's one of the benefits of me taking my break from YouTube is I am writing. I'm just writing. I'm doing other more original stuff, but I'm also working on fan stuff still. So I am going to make some Star Wars fan content. I'm actually working on a script for a fan film right now that might become a fan audio drama depending on
how things
work out. Because it's going to be a complicated project. I will reveal more once I have the script for that done.
Yeah.
That one is one that it's going to take a minute. As for going back to Super Worlds, though, so I thought about how the presentation, right?
Yeah.
I decided it's going to be presented in three different forms. So I decided, as each page is done, because I'm paying per page for the comic. That's a very traditional way to pay. You present the pay scale based on the page count. And so I paid him the first half for this first page. Usually a lot of people will buy pages in bulk, but I'm not. I'm just buying like each individual page, and as we go, he'll get more money.
Yeah.
And that gives me time to raise the funds for each payment that I need to give him, and that gives him time to work on each page as he needs to. And what I'm thinking is maybe in the $5 tier, since we don't have your content a week early on YouTube as much right now, maybe I give $5 tier people a chance to read the comic as each page is made. So for those of you, I mean, it'd be a very similar concept to Webtoons, because Webtoons that's basically Webtoons' whole thing. You read each page of a comic as people make them, or you just read the comic strip of the day. So what I'm doing though is making sure that you guys get the content, and it's special to you guys because you're getting it ahead of time, and also it's a way for us to raise funds to support making more of it. That way I can keep paying my artist, and also you guys, because I'm also going to then release the comic once each page for each issue is done.
Yeah.
Once the full issue is made, I will release each issue individually on Amazon. That's where I'm probably going to release it. And then once all the volume, like all the issues for volume are done, I will release a trade paperback version that has all of the volume. So I'll have volume 1, volume 2, and maybe even a omnibus version once the entire series is done. Or, once enough issues are done that an omnibus makes sense. But this is a way to make sure that, like, you guys who are supporting the channel, you have a way to continue supporting us, and also a way to, like, a way to reward you guys for that. And so, like, you'll get to be special because you'll get to read the comic before anybody else. And you'll be reading it as each issue is done. It's a cool way of interacting, I think.
The
and the Webtoons model doesn't... I mean, the Webtoons model is great for a lot of people, but it also... And I know people that use the Webtoons model. You're not making money there.
No.
It's about the same as somebody trying to make money on YouTube. You have to put in a lot of work, a lot of hours, and you got to be kind of a well-known quantity.
Yeah.
Here, it gives us a chance to have maybe a more niche audience, which I would like to be more than that, but I understand that we are a niche channel. There's not while we have over 100 subscribers, we don't consistently have that many people viewing videos. Like, a lot of the time, a lot of the YouTube videos come to like 5 maybe people watching.
We are aware that we're small time.
Yes. So I think this is a great way to allow us to have a chance to grow, but also in a way that kind of works for us. So, another incentive to join our Patreon, which is patreon.com/escape reality films. And so, throwing that out there now, that's the official announcement. I'm probably I need to update the page. I really need to edit the page and list things that are new. But from this day forward, the comics thing is going to be part of that. So as soon as the first page is done, whoever is a what's the name of that one specifically? What's the 5? Jimmy Ty tier. So if you're Jimmy Ty tier, which is $5 or higher, free comic. Free.
Oh man.
And honest, so I know $5 is expensive for a comic, especially when it's just a page.
Yeah.
But you're getting early access to it. That's the reason. And you get the access still to the Discord, and I do plan to go back to making some YouTube content before we get too far into the year.
Yeah.
I just need a break to kind of
recollect,
regroup, kind of figure out what we're doing with the channel, because there's a lot I want to do.
A lot just needs to sort of figure out the order of attack.
Yeah. Like there's like, I have been told I do try to do too many things at once. That might be my biggest crime.
Crime
or sin, whatever.
It's not a crime or a sin. It's a flaw.
Whatever, It's my biggest flaw is I try to do too many things at once. I definitely am like, I want to make this show, but I also want to write this book, but I also want to do this, and I'll try to do all of them at once.
Yeah.
I mean, also on top of that, the more people that join the Patreon, the more likely we can. And I know it's going to be weird to listen to me talk about our Patreon page in this way, but it's the reality that the Patreon page is useful to us, and we kind of really need the support if we really want to do more of these things that we're talking about. But the more people that support us on the Patreon page, even if it's just $1, the more stuff we can do, and the more we can actually fulfill these rewards a lot easier. Like, because I would like to just go back to what we were doing with the YouTube channel of a bunch of videos a day, but I can't sustain that by myself. Because we talked about this when we first talked about me slowing down. I'm editing every single video myself on the videos that need to be edited. And I've gotten I can tell my quality of videos have dropped a bit because I've gotten lazy on the editing. I can tell. I'm not. I know for sure on the Let's Plays. My Let's Plays have gotten. I've basically just hit start on OBS for recording, play the game. Even if I mess up, even if the game crashes, I keep the recording, play, and then stop the recording, and then I don't edit any of that out, and then I just post it anyways. But that's because like editing is just such a
hassle.
Like I love it, and I love it. I love editing, but when I'm doing like I'm trying to get like about 21 videos a week out, give or take.
I'm sorry, what? Caleb, that's 3 videos a day, man.
That's where we were when I stopped. That's where we were when I took my break.
That's insane.
So we were doing 21 videos a week.
How?
But yeah. Anyways, it helps with that stuff. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap up real quick because I think it's food time for us.
Oh yeah.
So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube, which is youtube.com/escape reality films. If you are watching on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/CJ Star Wars 94, be sure to go ahead and give a follow or subscribe. That, similar to the Patreon, subscribing on Twitch is another way to give us a revenue source. We will use the money very much in the same way as the Patreon. It's to help the channel. And thank you to Gamers and Geeks and Mobcast Network for providing the space. Be sure to check out Mobcast Network on YouTube, youtube.com/Mobcast Network, where we have new episodes with Tuesday with Scotty coming out on Tuesdays. It's a great show where we just have guests and we talk about whatever Scotty feels like for the week. I forget who's coming up on this upcoming episode, but we just got done filming one before coming on today. And then we do plan to come back with some with Cult Movie Cantina and My Star Wars Life pretty soon. They just been on hiatus.
Taking a little break over there.
Yeah, mid-season hiatus. And then as far as Gamers and Geeks, if you're in the Mobile, Alabama area, come check us out. We're the local gaming shop. You can, get your Magic, your Pokemon, your D&D, your Warhammer, whatever. And then you got an arcade in the back where you can play some old-fashioned arcade games for $10 for the day. You get a wristband, and it's free play. You don't got to put coins into each individual game. And then inside the building is Engage Gaming, another good friend to the channel. They're connected to Gamers and Geeks. You walk into Gamers and Geeks, Engage is right there on your right. And they let you rent out. Basically, you pay a monthly fee to be part of a membership, and you basically rent out. You can basically rent games in the shop. They have systems that you can play. You play the consoles that they provide. You can play PC. They even got VR. So a lot of good things. All right, so we'll see you guys next time, and thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. And I have spoken. Still don't have one, huh?
I don't have